See, is David, Dennis, is David kind of, no, I mean, David here. Oh, good, sure. Is he kind of overseeing our? Yeah, yeah. Okay. 11 o'clock. So, okay, yeah. Everybody go ahead and get a seat if you might. Oh, yeah. Yeah. I'll put it right over here.
I want all of them to hear this too. Okay, is everybody here that you expected here?
I think so. Sure.
She's got to the bathroom. Yeah. Anybody you want me to get rid of?
Well,
Too late now.
Okay, all right. I always check with every family. You're in charge.
What is it they say at weddings? If anybody has grease, it's out.
As soon as Terry comes out of the restroom, I'll bring Pastor Long in and begin, okay?
Good.
All right. You go sit down.
As far as I had her 73.
Oh, heavens. She was a saint, wasn't she?
She was a saint.
She made her back.
You want me to leave that on during the service, or do you want me to shut that off?
It's up to the boys. It wouldn't hurt to leave it on.
You're in charge, so we'll leave it on. All right, as soon as Terry comes in, we'll get ready to start, okay?
Okay.
Thanks for coming.
I guess they're here to see her.
Start the music.
There she is. She's got a pretty picture over there. Did you get to see those? Good. Oh, that's Miss Magdalene. Oh,
Megan, I was gonna give you a drive.
oh,
When we
okay.
the cemetery. My nephew's making life.
Oh Lord my God, when I in awesome wonder consider all the worlds thy hands have made, I see the stars, I hear the rolling thunder, thy power throughout the universe displayed. Then sings my soul, my Savior God, to thee. How great thou art, how great thou art. sings my soul, my Savior God, to thee. How great thou art, how great thou art. When Christ shall come with shout of acclamation and take me home, what joy shall fill my heart. Then I shall bow in humble adoration and there proclaim, my God, how great thou art. Then sings my soul, my Savior God, to thee. How great thou art, how great thou art. Then sings my soul, my Savior God, to thee. How great thou art, how great thou art, how great thou art, how great thou art.
I asked David this, would you prefer that I preach in a mask or preach maskless? I'm fine with both.
Without.
Okay.
Thank you.
I just want to be as careful as. We're here today to remember the life of Evelyn McGuire. And since it is only a family, I want to take this opportunity to pass along my deepest sympathy. I never got to meet Evelyn, but I enjoyed getting to hear stories. I enjoyed getting to hear about her love and her strength, her kindness. How do you measure the life that somebody leads? Can you measure it in the amount of time they live? Evelyn was 93 years old. That comes out to 1,116 months. That's roughly 33,967 days. And it comes out to 815,220 minutes, hours, or 48 million minutes. You can build quite a legacy in that amount of time. You can build a legacy by your work. Evelyn worked at RCA before children, and then she was a stay-at-home mother. And judging from the stay-at-home mothers that I know, this was probably her most important and also most difficult job. And she also worked at you for 33 years. We can build an interest, a legacy by our interests and by what we're passionate about. She enjoyed her Hoosiers and the IU basketball and football teams. I have family from Kentucky who have also lived in Bloomington, and I know that not everyone has the good sense from Kentucky to root for Indiana. She enjoyed playing cards with family and spending time with family. And I enjoy hearing about grandchildren's games and great-grandchildren's games. You can build a legacy with your family. Every person that I've talked to described Evelyn as a strong woman. I would imagine growing up in a family as large as hers, you would have to be a strong person to deal with that many siblings. Evelyn and Warren were married on June 19th, 1948. I heard from Warren that they spent 73 years together. That is a full life just in their time together. Their marriage was the average lifespan of a person. That is incredible. They have two sons, Terry and Dennis, five grandchildren, two great-grandchildren. I've heard of how Evelyn always enjoyed making art. I also heard that the family then enjoyed trying to figure out how many different shapes bunnies could take. I heard about stories of tree climbing and how one fall from a tree kept everyone else from not being able to climb trees anymore. I heard a lot about food, and I would imagine living in a house with men, she quickly found that if you want the quickest way to a man's heart is usually his stomach. I heard a lot about good food. I heard a lot about Evelyn loving to try new recipes. But when it comes to times like this, we rarely define who we are by our interests or our occupation. I heard stories of Evelyn's kindness and thoughtfulness. I heard of a strong woman who battled and fought cancer 3 times and beat cancer 3 times. One person told me a story about when Evelyn was about to have surgery on her leg. She was about to have her leg removed, and yet in that moment, she was comforting and caring for her family as she was about to have her leg removed. That's the kind of thoughtfulness, kind of caring woman, the kind of love. What a wonderful legacy for somebody to leave behind, a legacy of loving family, a legacy of putting her faith in Jesus and living it out. And even though she dealt with major health issues, I never heard one person say she complained. I never heard one person say that she focused on herself, but rather she focused on a family. What a legacy worth leaving. What a legacy worth passing. Will you pray with me? God, we thank you that you are here today. As we celebrate and as we remember the life of Evelyn McGuire, we thank you that you walked alongside her in our life. We know that you watch over us in the good times and in the hard times. You are the God who walks with us in our pain and in our success, in our brokenness and in our triumph. And God, we pray that your peace be here today.
Amazing grace, how sweet the sound that saved a wretch like me. I once was lost, but now am found. Was blind, but now I see. 'Twas grace that taught my heart to fear and grace my fears relieve. How precious did that grace appear the hour I first believed. When we've been there 10,000 years, bright shining as the sun, we've no less days to sing God's praise. And when we first begun, amazing grace, how sweet the sound that saved a wretch like me. I once was lost, but now am found. Was blind, but now I see. The amazing grace.
Therefore we do not lose heart. Though outwardly we are wasting away, yet inwardly we are being renewed day by day. For our light and momentary troubles are achieving for us an eternal glory that far outweighs them all. So we fix our eyes not on what is seen, but what is unseen. For what is seen is temporary, but what is unseen is eternal. The man who wrote this was a man named Paul. He was a missionary who was traveling the world telling people about Jesus in what is present-day Greece and Turkey. During his travels, he was shipwrecked. He faced opposition from people all over the area. He was stranded on islands and run out of cities. He spent many years of his life in jail. Paul knew what it was like to have your body break down. And yet, even in this time, his spirit remained hopeful. He had peace that did not match the circumstances of his life. It is an unfortunate reality that our bodies are temporary and break down. It is in those times that we learn to focus on what is important. When things start to break down, it helps show us the importance of life and things in life that are important. Paul said that even though his body is breaking down, that he was focused on what is unseen. In this case, what was unseen is Jesus. Paul said that he focuses on Jesus and that eternity is found in him. So he dedicated his life to Jesus that he might be able to spend eternity with him. Evelyn dealt with cancer and the loss of her leg. She knew what it was to have her body break down. She also knew what it was to continue being a person who cared for others in difficult circumstances. Someone described Evelyn's faith to me as a personal faith, that she was devoted in her faith to Jesus. In the midst of trouble, she focused on her family. Every person that I've talked to said that in her physical struggles, she never stopped caring and loving the people around her. In the Bible, there are many statements made up of how we should treat one another. Some of those statements are forgive one another, bear with one another, honor one another, be devoted to one another, comfort one another, and encourage one another. Of all these statements, love one another is the statement that is made most often. It is made 16 times. In the Bible, we are instructed to love one another. That love is something that unites and brings together. Love is something that is not just a feeling, but requires action. And love is something that is never wasted. A man named John said, this is how we know what love is. Jesus Christ laid down his life for us, and we ought to lay down our lives for our brothers and sisters. Dear children, let us not love with words or speech, but in action and in truth. True love is something that we don't see often. But when we see true love, it is something worth marveling. John tells us that we know what love is because Jesus laid down his life. This is a love that is selfless and sacrificial. It is a love that puts others first and looks out for the good of others. We are told not just to encourage one another, not just to love people with our words, but to love people with our actions. Words can do amazing good, but if it's not accompanied by action, it often becomes hollow. Love is an action worth having. This is the kind of love of a family. It is the kind of love that Evelyn showed. When we come to times like this, words just seem inadequate. As much as I wish I could, there are no words that I can say to you to make the pain and heartache go away. The pain of loss is something that each person handles differently. It can feel like there is a gap in our life that nothing can fill. It is in these times that we need each other more than we know. It is in our pain that we need other people the most. It is impossible to fill the gap left by a loved one. There is no way that we can replace or that you can replace what Evelyn meant. But I would encourage you to carry on the lessons learned. Carry on the laughter. Carry on the kindness, the love for each other. Carry on the lessons of a strong woman who taught you that regardless of the circumstances, to care for the people around you. Hold on to the lessons that she taught. Hold on to the memories. Tell the funny stories. Care for one another. That would be my encouragement to you. I found a poem by an unknown author that I think helps illustrate this. And this is how I'd like to conclude today. Feel no guilt and laughter. She knows how much you care. Feel no sorrow and a smile that she's not there to share. You cannot grieve forever. She would not want you to. She'd hope that you can carry on the way you always do. So talk about the good times, the ways you know she cared, the days you spent together, all the happiness you shared. Let memories surround you. A word someone may say will suddenly recapture a time, an hour, a day that brings her back as clearly as though she were still here and fills you with that feeling that she is always near. For if you keep these moments, you will never be apart, and she will be forever locked safe within your heart. Let me pray with you. God, I thank you for Evelyn. I thank you for the life she lived. Thank you for her family. But God, we know that in times of loss that it's never easy. And God, I pray that you would surround them with your comfort. I pray that whoever is hurting would be cared for. God, I pray that memories and laughter would be passed on. We pray, I pray for the family. I pray for their strength. I pray that you would surround them with comfort. In Jesus' name I pray.
Precious memory, unseen angel, sent from somewhere to my soul. How they linger ever near me, and the sacred past unfold. Precious memories, how they linger, how they ever flood my soul. In the stillness of the midnight, precious sacred scenes unfold. Precious Father, loving Mother, fly across the lonely and go home scenes of my childhood in fond memory of it. Precious memory, how they linger, how they ever flood my soul. In the stillness of the midnight, precious sacred scenes unfold. As I travel on life's pathway, know not what the years may hold. As I ponder, hope grows fonder. Precious memories flood my soul. Precious memories, how they linger, how they ever flood my soul. In the stillness of the midnight, precious sacred sea unfold.
conclude our services at the Valhalla Cemetery. I've got another song I'm going to play here in just a second too, but at this time, if anybody wants to come forward, say your goodbyes. And if you want to come forward again, why don't you do that now, and then we'll get ready to go to our cars in just a minute, okay?
And let you know we will. I'll see you on the Thursday. And believe that we do. Like I said, I love you always will. Thank you. You was a good man. Wonderful man. Thank you. Let's go. Good. So,
The boys wrote a letter to Madeline and wondered, it's okay if they can do it. The boys wrote the letter to Mama, and he did that with Johnny and Bobby, and they wanted to sing the casket. Okay.
you got me.
You were the one that always stayed. Beautiful face without a name. Beautiful smile that had no pain. Give you all you're my hero. Everything I would to be. I can fly an eagle. You are the wind in my wings. I have a feeling so unfolding. I know you in my heart. I want you to know I know the truth. I know you. I would just love you.
Yeah. You just told me a story. Yeah.
You are the wind, I will. Did I ever tell you you're my hero? You're everything I wish I could be. Oh, I can fly higher than an eagle. You are the wind beneath my wings. You are the wind beneath my wings. Oh, wind beneath my wings. You are the wind beneath my wings.
Those of you that are going to help us pallbearers for your grandma's casket, go ahead and retrieve your coats now. And then meet us out in the hallway By the front door, to give further instructions.
Hey, can you have a code?